how he made his journey from being an engineer to a marketeer. Welcome, Arjun.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your warm welcome. I'm really glad to be here. Um, Definitely want to be part of SIGAN at some point, giving back to the alma mater. This is very close to my heart, like CEG, for so many reasons, because I grew up in Chennai. I'm a local Madras boy. I like to call it as Madras. I pretty much like I spent most of my time in the college campus for everything, starting from my passion to career. So I'm so glad to be here and very happy to be answering, whatever questions you might have. As ma'am told, like I'd like to keep this session very, very interactive. Really, like any point, like this is going to be very, very informal introductory session of like how I made my transition. Um, I, I mean, really, to be frank, like transition means like how I completely switched from being from an engineer to not a mainstream IT job or something like that to pursue something which is outside of complete engineering, right? So that's it is going to be that focused. So if there is any question at any point, I have few slides that are backed up with technical knowledge on digital marketing as well. So I'd be glad to answer if there are any specific questions or general questions, or if you guys are having any pain points in your current phase, I'd be happy to answer that too. So to start with, I hope first of all everyone is staying safe here. I mean, particularly the people who are joining from Chennai. We are in lockdown since yesterday, so please stay indoor and stop flattening help flattening the curve. We'd be glad to visit Sigana event probably like in direct next year. Um, okay, to start with, are there any questions? So what are there any specific topics you guys would like to want me to cover today? Feel free to chat. I'll give like a minute. Feel free to chat.
Karthik, you have to mute yourself, seems like. We are getting echo. Yeah. Go ahead. And anybody who wants to give input.
Yeah. Are there any specific questions or like particular topics you'd like to get covered in this session? Okay. There's a question.
There is a question in the chat.
Yep.
Digital
using
LinkedIn for digital marketing.
Awesome.
And then Ramani says digital marketing using Facebook, WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Those are all good questions. We are at 7:10 now. Probably we can. So those definitely come under the technical stuff of digital marketing. First half will try to cover the transition, and second half will try to go into the technical things. And of course, I'd be very happy to answer any questions after the session as well if you guys want to connect on LinkedIn. Let me go ahead and share my screen with the presentation. Okay, so there's another question here. What does the future of marketing look like? New technologies, methods. Okay, sounds good, Sheikh. All right, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining again. And I think ma'am gave a really good introduction about myself. To briefly, explain, I did my bachelor's of electronics and communication engineering from CEG, Chennai University. I passed out in 2012. And I joined right after college. I joined Ernst & Young as a software engineer. I worked there for 2.5 years. I wanted to make a transition from software to digital marketing because I'll tell a few reasons. So I joined Core Digital, which is a digital marketing agency in Chennai. And then to expand my business knowledge, I started pursuing my MBA in business analytics from Syracuse University in New York. Right after that, I started working as a digital marketing manager for a fintech in New York called Bankers Healthcare Group. Now I'm currently working as a director of paid media for Toptal. So First thing, right? Like, how do I make a transition? Again, I have a couple three bullets here, but feel free to interrupt me anytime if you have any questions. But basic thing I would say is like everyone, engineering is a very mainstream. I don't want to go into the topic of like what we should pursue for bachelors. It's definitely their subjective opinion. But if anyone figures out why or they want to pursue something apart from engineering while they are studying, they should really ask a deep question: why do they get such thoughts, right? Like I'll go through what I went through during my school days, college days, bachelor's, right? So I mean I got a very good score in 12th standard, and I joined CEG, quote unquote merit, right? And ECE is, I don't know about now, but back in 8 years before, ECE was considered one of the top department in the college, and all the state toppers used to take ECE. So I also took ECE. I mean, I never hated it. I really enjoyed the college experience. But eventually, I think what happened is I started involving in many more activities apart from engineering, which I found it more interesting and fulfilling, right? So I discovered that I have a different interest or different passion um, compared to what I'm studying. But I never sacrificed anything from studies perspective. So what I did is I took a conscious decision of developing the interest which I had at that point with whatever resources I have. What do I mean by that, right? So market yourself first. If you decide to get into marketing, first question, right? Like, why do you have to get into marketing? Like, what? Just ask yourself, like, what particularly are you interested in marketing? Is it about something you read in newspaper, or is it about you saw someone on you're very interested, right? And then you want to become is something like him or her, and just ask the question and be true to yourself, and just get your basics straight and foundations right. Okay, this is why I want to pursue marketing. Then confirm your assumptions by talking to the industry experts. So when I had the same situation, I spoke to several people, like really so many people outside the industry, outside the college. So I had like few friends working where work. I mean, I had few elder people who were working in different industries. So I I called them and then asked them, what do you think of making this transition or something like that, just to understand their perspective. So then I eventually figured out we have all the resources to learn marketing surrounding ourselves at any point of time. One simple example is college events and symposiums, right? If you are a marketer in CEG particularly, you have an amazing opportunity to pursue marketing interest using Kurukshetra or Tech of Us or Agni, right? So apparently our batch, actually, you might have talked to a few people outside, from my batch, but we had a really good year in terms of conducting the, all the symposiums and entertainment festivals. We had like, it was a very big grand event and it was a huge success. And in fact, it was, I think, telecasted in televisions as well, covered by a few televisions. So we passionately involved in everything, starting from designing a poster and talking to few sponsorship and involving in creating a strategy and everything. Trust me, whatever you do in the work environment is not totally different from what you were doing in Kurukshetra or Techofus. If you think, principles and logics are very very same. How much ever interest you have, I mean, more the interest you have, better the output you get. So the first step I would say is actually, you know look around yourself and see what are the opportunities you have, right? I'm very very sure you will. I mean, even in this webinar, right? Like you can be part of any alumni club or anything as such, or like your school rep, or like there are so many things to be take accountable for during the college days, like placement rep, or YRC. I was part of YRC actually, and I conducted event for it's a Vivega 19 or something, Vivega 12 or something like that. So it's a annual event for Youth Red Cross. So I took charge of that and actually got so many sponsors and marketed the event. And it was a very good function, so it was a good experience. I earned a lot of contacts during that, right? And second point would be, are you passionate enough? If yes, show it to the world. This is very cruel, right? If I mean, I believe in a simple principle. If you're passionate about something, there is nothing that should stop you from pursuing that. But everyone should always take a calculated risk, right? As I mentioned, you never know until you try, you dip your toe and try yourself or test the waters, like you really have a good interest in that. You might find marketing might not be your cup of tea, right? So your choice might not be marketing, like after experiencing like couple things in, in complete marketing. So but you have to take a calculated risk in that. So when you're studying something, maybe like off days or like weekends, you have to put some time and show it to the world that you're really passionate about, or try something on your own to see if you're really interested in it. I will show examples of everything what I did, with some stories, in the further slides. But this is just to cover, how did I make a transition and understand people and their behavior, social media business stories. This is also very important, right? So now, I mean, back in 2012, like I don't want to talk like I'm too old, but still, the social media revolution was not too high. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I created my Facebook account in like third year or end of third year or like fourth year beginning. So I'm sure like everyone comes with a Facebook account now, right? So if you read, like, I mean, information is at your fingertip. So you have all the resources in the reachable distance. You just have to go grab them and try to, like, I'll tell some foundations on how to look at things, but you really have all the resources around you. So first suggestion would be like market yourself first, right? So try to involve in as many opportunities as possible, and take ownership. It's okay if you can't do it, but take ownership. You'll definitely figure out like some interesting things about yourself in the process. And if you're passionate enough, you have to put interest. I'll show you like how I did it, but this is just to show definitely there's a time involved here. More the interest you have, better the output would be. And understand people and their behavior using the social media and business stories. Okay, so how many of you know this photograph, what I'm showing here? So have you seen this photograph before? Maybe I'll show it in the big screen. Have you seen this photograph before? Anywhere in Facebook or anyone?
All very silent.
Okay. One person said, Jagan said it's my wallpaper. Amazing. Okay. Awesome. All right. So I don't know how many people know. I don't know anyone noticed actually. There's a watermark here. I'm pointing. I don't know how to point here, but
We
I'm
can see it,
pointing.
Arjun.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is here, right? I took this photograph and posted on social media. This is the exact beginning of my marketing transition, right? When I decided I have interest in creative field, first thing I did is like I started with a simple mobile phone and like simple, very. I mean, I after a lot of fight with my family, I got my DSLR. So it's not like I'm interested in photography, but I knew I was interested in creativity. Until then, I never or creative field. Until then, I never had any exposure to any of this arts or like photographs or anything as such. So I spent bunch of time in school during all kinds of season, taking photographs of CG in different angles in every building, like even like the old buildings and stuff. Like I found a perspective, found an angle, and took a photograph. And basically trying to hone my, I mean, if I know I love creative field, then I have to see how creative I am, right? It could be a knowledge or skill which could be developed. So I put my efforts in trying to see, what I get from everything. So this photograph apparently became so viral, and I think it was kept as a, the cover photo of CGAM group at some point, and many people started using this representation. And I mean, I'm not sure like how many people noticed the watermark, but definitely, I started here, and there were like so many photographs of CG which went viral on social media, right? And this is exactly where I started. Then talking about, uh, you know, the uh, the transition in college, I was part of YRC, as I mentioned previously. Then I was also part of Decofers or Agni, and try to get their partnership in marketing and Kurukshetra. only on the entertainment side, right? Then I used to go to different symposiums and talk to different people and say and understand how they are marketing their event, like going to different schools and giving the posters or like pamphlets and stuff. So I went to different schools, like as I forgot the school name, JPR institutions completely, and different schools in Etiraj and all those Pachapas everywhere, like wherever I want, basically inviting people to our college symposiums. So that is a part of right. That is the first step of getting into marketing. You are interacting with a representative from different school, and you're representing your entity. Even if you join a company as a marketer, this is exactly what you have to do. Not in a direct way, but through different channels, right? But this is where I started. I went and met like principals and deans of different schools and marketed our College of Engineering Guinea festivals and helped them or get their participation, and like we had a huge year in terms of all the symposiums and festivals, right? I highly suggest getting into, not at the cost of sacrificing your studies. Of course, studies are important, but try to pursue this if you're really passionate about getting into marketing. Try to take this approach and see what are the skills you need to develop, right? How people are responding to you. So naturally I discovered that I'm good at talking to people, and basically I can develop the conversations very well. So which I found, I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't tried it, right? So I highly suggest doing that. And even after I explored different things like photography, and I actually started designing for poster designing competition and stuff, everything was super fine until like fourth year. Then my I had to seriously to prepare for my placements. So I was the last person to get placed, I think, in my batch, if I'm not wrong, like in like maybe like February or something. So I got placed in Ernst and Young. Ernst and Young is a accountant company, top for accountancy, next to Deloitte, I think. So I joined as a technical engineer, software engineer, I think. So to just start coding and stuff and technical product development. So until then, I never had a programming background. So I joined EY, and then I started, learning programming. Until that point, I never thought like I would enjoy programming, right? So yeah, I had a good team leader. I learned programming from scratch. And before that, like I was like really like nothing in like coding or anything as such, because being an EC student, I was focused much on like creative set of things during school. I was involved in all the events. Like I never developed the technical skill to be a coder or anything as such, like from data structures or nothing. So that was a new experience for me. I put so much efforts in learning, programming stuff in Java, SQL, and all those things, HTML, and I was actually doing quite good. But really, what kept me going in EY is, or the things I involved in a lot. I'm going to explain my first, achievement in EY. I'm not going to talk about anything in like technical way, but even I was working as a software engineer, right? There was a competition for portraying a vision, EY's vision in 2020. So right when I joined, I think the CEO of EY got shifted, Mark Weinberger, if I'm not wrong. So he came up with a vision for EY in 2020. Like he wants to do so many things, and there was a competition, global competition, saying that how could you portray this in a visual way or creative way. I took it as a challenge. And when I was working in EY as a software engineer, this is like really the bad, representation of what EY's vision is. This is definitely not the best one. So I had just an idea, like to expand EY, to expand as a global company, they have to acquire the globe, all over the globe, with the values they are proposing as a value they are going to pursue in 2020, right until 2020. So this is exactly what I had, like this is EY's vision, and they had like milestones like 2014, 2017, 2020, and then they have this the cards around the sheet is like the values EY has, and certain numbers actually like 14 million revenue and whatever it is, like they have like particular specifics they released. So what I wanted to show in this whole representation is EY is expanding worldwide with those values as a web, and through these milestones, and by 2020 they would acquire the world. This is a very simple concept, right? And if you see, there's a white sheet here, or there's some text here on all the webs, that those are all the principles of EY. So I basically took everything what Mark Weinberger, the CEO of EY, wanted to, show or pursue, and put it in this format, saying that EY is going to be like a global leader. And I mean, I don't know about it is going to be a fact. It's already 2020, so many things changed. But back then, it was a creative competition, right? We did this with like thermocol and all those, like, whatever, like threads and whatever we have. And it was a very bad representation, like, very chaotic as it looks like. Apparently, we went to the competition and we were in Bangalore actually. And the EY has like, EY doesn't have many engineers actually. EY has only, arts people or like accountants people or people who already have the arts background. So they came up with like amazing structures of, like physical structure. Like it was super beautiful, like a how a civil engineer would build a prototype of a building right before the construction. So something like that. They had this beautiful thing, and like even somebody actually built off everything with like matchsticks, and it was very nice looking. And I thought like we would not win any competition or in this competition at all, because we with ours looked like very chaotic. And we started explaining I started explaining, the whole concept to the jury, and they fell in love with the whole strategy, the way representation, even though it looks chaotic. And eventually our team won. So this is exactly where I discovered, okay, I'm working as a software engineer, but there is something like, I can portray people's vision or like some normal text principles into visual way. So that's when I discovered, I have this, strength. You'll get your intuition right in like first success. Small wins is what builds your confidence, right? So this is exactly what I meant as involve in as many things as possible once you discover, at not at the cost of sacrificing everything you have. You don't have to quit your job and like, immediately like pursue anything until you figure out, or you have confidence that you are worth something in this field, right? So you have to involve yourself, go out of your comfort zone and get yourself into, drown into these things and try out and see what you get. So this is the first step. And again, I formed a group called Culture Interest Group. Then I started forming a logo. I mean, this logo representation is very simple, right? So spreading culture is what the theme of the Culture Interest Group we created, and I had to create a logo for it. And logo is like Wi-Fi logo with arts thing, right? So basically, the group is responsible for connecting all the fun events in the floor. So I came up with this logo, and eventually, I won the competition, and like it became official logo for Culture Interest Group. So it again built my confidence. Okay, there is something I am, like I have something in here, so I have to seriously think about it. Even though I was pursuing, very good a career in EY, I quit actually. So after 2.5 years, okay, I thought, I should give a try in marketing. If not, I can come anytime, back to EY or any other company. There are so many software companies. So at max, I thought I would give like a 1 year of time, and see what I can get, right? Or if I be able to get some job in marketing. So I came to from Bangalore, I came to Chennai, and then I actually was searching for a job for like 3 months, and I didn't get any job. So I think I almost gave interview to all the big companies back then in digital marketing. And in fact, I didn't have many people surrounding me expanding things actually, right? So it's a risky thing. Like, you have to, I mean, we don't get any salary for, if you quit a job or something, but if you're really passionate enough, you have to pursue that. You have to give a chance, right? So I tried, back then I could have tried everything on the side, but really the situation was really bad. So work was, taking so much time on my end, and I was in Bangalore. So I couldn't actually, I didn't have that family support. So I couldn't pursue anything on the side there, because I had to take care of everything by myself. So I went to Chennai and started looking for jobs. I gave an interview in almost all the companies. I didn't get any job actually for 3 months. So it was a very devastating period for me. And then I discovered, like, passion is just not enough. Like that's I go back to this point what I was telling. Passion is just not enough, to get a really good job, or like maybe like interesting job which you like. If you're passionate about something, then you have to show it to the world, right? So I discovered that when I was talking to a person in Times of India. I forgot the name. So I actually connected with him, through social media, and went to this. I was about to get an internship there. Actually, I was very confident I would get an internship. So he just told that, I mean, I can give you a job today, but I'm not going to give you. I was like shocked. I mean, already I was devastated by like getting rejected from like 5 to 6 companies, and I was hoping a lot to get a job there. But he told like, I'm not going to give a job even though I can today, because I don't see anything like you have done to show your interest or passion. You just say you're passionate, right? Yeah, you did everything on in your previous company, but that's not like digital marketing. There's so many things you could do, right? What did you learn from marketing? And like he started asking all these questions, I felt very guilty, and he actually gave an example. So he was a marketer there. This is how funny the world works. He was the marketer there, but he didn't like marketing. He wants to go into stock market and all those things, right? So he learned everything on his side and connected. Even he published his own paper when he was working as a marketer in Times of India. And then after he showed all the things which he did for stock market on his side, and he told that he connected with one of the top stock market expert in Russia or somewhere, and he's in continuous touch and learning things from him. That actually inspired me a lot. Even though I felt very bad that I didn't get a job in Times of India, like I was like, okay, there's something we need to do, right? Like he's telling he has done it, he's been there and done it, then we have to do something. Then I decided, actually, I took a newspaper and read all the business news and found what are the business moves people are making, right? Then if, let's say, if anything changes, if a company changes their business model, or if a company changes anything in their process or anything, then I try to connect the dots and extrapolate and see why they're doing it, right? Then I started honing my skills in, like, this is when I was jobless, right? So I started honing my skills in, like, the strategy and like why business are changing things that they're doing continuously. So that's when I did this, right? I'm not sure like how many of you guys have seen this before. So this is right around the World Cup time, I think 2011. If I'm not wrong, sorry, not 2011, 2014, right? Or 2015. Um, yeah, somewhere around that. So the World Cup time, and I had to actually. So I was actually desperate to do something different. So I had a thought of, like, giving cheers to our Indian team by giving a Kollywood flavor to it, right? So I came up with this minimal postal series. I just took the photo of their actions and connected the the Tamil movie dialogues according to their on-field and off-field behavior. For example, like for Kohli, it just literally means, like, he can play anywhere, like, like even in the international pitch or like domestic pitch. Dhoni, of course, like, it's I have to get a Rajini dialogue. And the one, like, he doesn't play very well every time, but if he plays really well. At least he scores a century or something like that. So I came up with this for all the players, and with combining with their on-field and off-field behavior, and how they perform in their career throughout the career, and it becomes so viral. And really, like, I just started posting on my Facebook feed, and everyone across Tamil Nadu started sharing. And overnight, like, I think we got like 11,000 shares or something like that, if I'm not wrong. Like everywhere, all the channels started sharing it, right? So, and next morning I got, and like Times of India contacted me again, and this is what happened. They interviewed me for coming up with this structure, and I was in the Chennai Times cover page, half page actually, full cover, covering my story of how I came up with the series. It became so viral, and like I got interviewed, and this really gave me a confidence. Okay, now I know I'm confident in, like, getting reaching some message to people, right? I can connect with people directly. So this is exactly what I was telling in my previous slides. You have to get yourself, if you're really passionate about something, and do something different, and try to test whether you're good at it or not, or develop if you're really passionate about. I never think like it's my inborn talent to come up with this strategy, or like messaging or anything as such. I just put so much thought process behind it. I might have lost so much hair in the process, but it's all worth it, right? So basically, you have to put yourself into it and try everything. And this literally become my resume. I didn't have any resume in digital marketing, right? So I just took this newspaper for my next interview for Core Digital Marketing Agency, where I eventually ended up getting a job. And this is exactly what the owner told me when he gave a job to me. You're really interested, you have something, but I don't know where you fit in. So I would want you to be an assistant to me, and like explore everything you have, and see where you fit in, and maybe like after 3 months you can take a stream and work. So those 3 months I put in efforts like every day and really got my foundations right on digital marketing. And eventually rest is history. Like I developed, like all the technical skills needed, and become very confident in digital marketing, and eventually started a business line for the company and did my MBA. And even like I did a lot of freelancing projects on the side along with my friends. So I don't know, keep repeating the point again. Like if you tell that you're passionate enough, right, you have to, show it to the world by some or other way, right? I mean, back then I just had Facebook, right? Right now we have so many social media, so many forums. Quora was not there before, LinkedIn was not there before, and all those algorithms works in different ways, right? And even like Twitter was not there, like not mainly used for by college students or like celebrities and stuff. So there are so many platforms now to showcase your talent or your passion, right? So if you're a college student currently pursuing engineering, I would suggest to start thinking about how can you take one thing and show it in a different way or market yourself different, and try to see how people react to it, right? If they don't react, that's okay, it's a learning. Then try to see different way, try to come up with a different variation and see how people react. Don't just be ashamed of not trying anything. So it's simple, like if I hadn't tried this thing, right, like I just posted on my social media, like who would judge me, right? I never know like this would become so viral and people would see. Like, I mean, I was a kid back then, like I didn't know anything about virality. I accidentally came up with this, and it really become, you know like a big hit. So eventually, all the small wins will give you so much confidence in pursuing what you like. Okay, enough about myself. So at this point, do you have any questions? Yeah. Anyone has any questions at this point? If not, we can move to the skill part. Cool.
There is a question in the chat line. What does the future of marketing look like? New
Yep.
technologies,
Yep.
methods.
I'm going to cover that in like a couple slides. Yeah. So basic marketing, there's something called marketing mix, right? You have like they call it as 4 P's: product, price, promotion, place. So product is nothing but like what services you're offering and what kind of product you're offering and what does it do. Price is like what's your market price and margin and everything. Place, how you're going to market it, which channel you're going to take it, or what are if it's a physical product, how are you figuring out the logistics and stuff. Promotion is advertising, sales, and publicity. How are you going to promote it? So as simple as it looks like, it is a very complicated structure to get a balance in this 4 P's. Like it is a very basic thing in marketing, right? And beat anything. Like let's take a simple example, right? So you're coming up with an app that may take all the CG scores and put it in a digital format, like all the semester results. So parents can see, or like students can see whatever it is. So it's an app you are creating. So you have to think about all those 4 P's. What value the product is creating, right? Okay, it eases off the it gives a convenient way to look at your semester results without even going to the you know college and seeing the results, right? Back then we had to go physically to school and see all the results. Right now it might be digitized. I'm just giving an example, right? So what value you're creating. And price, of course, it's for college, it's free, but if you're marketing it to different school, then you have to come up with the price range. And place and promotions, how are you going to promote and what kind of channels you're going to promote, and like how are you going to take this and reach to customers. Literally everyone in the marketing department like comes up with strategy revolving around this 4 P's. How are you going to market your product or company you're working for, and get it to the and how can you get it to the people you're targeting and make them aware of this product you're selling. So it might be different until it might be difficult to get this until you get into marketing, but I'll give you some suggestions on wherever you're working right now or whatever you are doing right now. You can do this exercise in that place itself. For example, if you're working in IT industry, right? Let's say you're a part of like 40 people project and you're working for a US client, right? But how many of us get into thinking of what client we are working and what business they are really solving for customers, right? I used to work for like AXA Bank or something like that. So I know they're in the insurance field, right? Okay. Before even going into technical things, I started reading about the company and what their products are and what are their customers looks like and what exactly they're solving in the market and how much is the market share and all those things. So that gives you a perspective. Even though you're building one module in the IT industry for that company, you're understanding the bigger picture. Okay, this module is going to impact customer insurance claims. That is going to affect in this market, and that is going to like increase the market share by this much. So basically, you can connect the dots once you start thinking about why you are working and what you're working. Typically, what I see, I don't know about the case right now, but typically what I see is when in a big IT project or anywhere in the automation, right? People only focus on that particular part and forget to see the bigger picture, like why and how that thing they're doing is going to affect the company that is giving the work, right? I highly suggest you start in that way, so you understand the value you're creating, and once you understand the value you're creating, you'll get more options and thinking. You can expand the thinking in how can I maximize it. That's exactly what marketing is. Once this is what, okay, I'm solving the problems, or I'm making claimability of making the claims of customers easy. That is the value you're creating. Then you can say, okay, what are the other ways I can, we can make it as easy. So in that current job, you can actually add more value and give more ideas to your team lead or to your project manager about these things. it I mean, it works or doesn't work, doesn't matter, but you can expand your thinking, right? So that is the first skill I would say. This 4 P's, try to understand the bigger picture of anything and everything that's happening around the world. And particularly coming to digital marketing, right? What are the skills we need to get into marketing? This is the marketing funnel, they say, right? Whatever product you have or whatever service you offer, every person, knowingly or unknowingly, have to go through this funnel. Let's say I have a phone, right? I came up with a phone and I have to actually market the phone now, right? So you have to make aware of your product to the target audience, right? First they have to be aware of the product and they have to show the interest. They have to consider it that, okay, I need a phone like this, and they should get an intent. Okay, right time, okay, my phone is old, then I need to buy a phone. That is the intent creation. And evaluation, okay, when they evaluate like so many different products, how does your product look like in the market, and what value are you creating? Like I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it has to be cheap, but let's say, I mean, for like 10,000 rupees extra, I give like so many offers and value, then you would not like think twice to spend on it, right? So in a similar way, they will evaluate and they purchase eventually. So unknowingly or knowingly, we go through this process. How do we go through this process? Like, that's where the social media and all this marketing plays big role, right? So when you're browsing Facebook, when you're reading something on like TV, seeing something on TV, reading something on Twitter, reading something on Quora, you're basically getting aware of things that are around us, right? They are marketing in a way, or indirect way, I would say. you know so people post something about anything on their feed, then you're okay reading it, then you're aware of that, right? That is awareness stage again, done, right? Then you're seeing the same advertisement in TV, then interest phase is done, and you're considering, okay, you could buy that, okay, this is a good brand, then you're considering that. And intent, you might not buy on a first day, but when you keep seeing the advertisement or like that message for like probably like 6 months, you might think, okay, I think my phone is outdated, I have to buy a new phone. Then you create an intent. And evaluation, when you evaluate different options, when your product has a good pricing and create more value, then of course you make a purchase. So try to see in this perspective, right? Like, not everything can be connected to profitability, or like just whatever. Marketers, whenever they come with a strategy, they keep in mind about this. So they won't like create, okay, we'll get like 1,000 purchases this month. They will eventually project, actually, okay, 10,000 people will see this ad. Out of that, 5,000 people will show some interest. Out of that, 2,000 people might be considering, and like maybe we'll get like 50 purchases eventually. So that's how they plan. And more and more you're thinking like this, you can actually hone your marketing knowledge. So this is what I call as like logical thinking and creative writing and thinking. So this is not a mandatory thing, but really creative thinking is definitely needed. What do I mean by creative thinking? So if how do you market this product differently, right? Like, I mean, same, you can take this as the same CG picture, right? So in this picture, I mean, of course, the photograph I took was not like this, right? This is just a normal photograph. I edited in Photoshop afterwards, and I wanted to show like a rain or anything as such different line. It become like make a red building as a very prominent thing, looks like a lightning or thunder. This is all Photoshop effects, and even this sharpness and everything is Photoshop effect. And I want to create like a red building alone should look like very grand in this photo. So, and this become, I think everyone liked this picture, right? So I don't know if it's successful or not, but everyone liked it and people shared it and people use it as a wallpaper now. So you have to think in that way, right? How can I, show it differently or make attractive to people so that they can consume and use it? And basic mathematics. I'll come to this point in a future slide, but basic mathematics session like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, very, very basic. So you don't need anything apart from that, for analytics and digital marketing. So basics, right? But when you talk about sophisticated marketing like performance marketing using data analytics, visualization, then you have to have all those different skills like database, data visualization, Excel. Because when you're talking about marketing a product, you need, so there are like, let's say, 7 billion people in the world, right? And you want to target only 20 to 25 years old, then maybe like 1 billion people. Can you target to every 1 billion? No, it's not efficient way of marketing, right? So you have to understand out of that 20 to 25 age, who can afford your phone, and who can, which geography might be like very profitable to go to market first, and which geography has historically proven successful so we can test our product there, or what kind of interest people have so we can actually, let's say, people, and I can find using data analytics, we found that, just for example, people who use Snapchat or like in Instagram a lot buy this phone a lot. Okay, then we can actually start creating a message saying that, you can do so many things using this phone through Instagram and all those messaging and creative thinking, right? So for all those insights and analysis, you need to crunch data. So basic skills would be like Excel, like get the data in Excel and start pivoting and see, you know, what different insights looks like. And database, when I say database, when I meant all the physical and all the attributes of people, then everything is stored in database like SQL, basic like SQL or like Oracle or whatever it is, or no SQL now. So you can use basic skills, any basic SQL queries to just query the data and see, what kind of people or what kind of data we have on these people who we are targeting, right? Then data visualization. This could be like graphs or like, anything like, Power BI or Tableau. So those kind of tools, I have a list of tools in the future slides, so we can go through it. But those kind of tools help you put things in perspective and visually you can make a lot of sense. So logical thinking, creative thinking, basic mathematics, data analytics. So specifically when you talk about digital marketing, right? These are the main pillars. You talk about search engine optimization, which is organic search. Basically, when you build a website, right, that's an asset. So when you search somewhere on Google, then you have to show up maybe in the top page. How many of us like go through the second page in Google search results? I hardly doubt it, right? I never actually go through like maybe like five or six, beyond like 5 or 6 results. So in order to get in that first 5 or 6 results, you have to optimize your website in a way it is showing up number one or number two spot. So there are so many technical things involved, like um, explaining or making the tags in the web forms, like HTML websites have like headlines, description, and the image text, all text, and the content used on the website should be matching with the keyword you're searching for. So when you make all these things right on a website, eventually Google starts recognizing that, okay, this website is relevant for this search query and show up on number 5 or number 6, number top 5 spots, right? And search engine marketing. So before the organic search results show up, like top 5 or like 6 results, like, first, I think quarter page would be covered by text ads, right? When you see the ads, it says ad on the search results. So those are like search engine marketing. This is a hugely popular, marketing way of getting leads, because when I talk about the intent, right, in the funnel, the intent is really high for people who search, because you're already searching for something which means that you're already ready to purchase, right? So that's why people actually spend a lot on search engine marketing, and also it is very effective. So returns are very high. Social media marketing means like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I have a list of things I can show in the future that I know how can we target, and everything related to YouTube. Social YouTube is a social media, and Facebook, um, LinkedIn, Twitter, everything comes under social media. Quora, video advertising, you can call Google video advertising, which is YouTube, as a video advertising. So basically, telling the same thing using videos. Affiliate marketing, you get into partnership with different companies. So maybe like I have website and you have website, and I offer a product A and you offer product B. Then we can actually make a pact that you put my product in your website, and if any lead comes through my product, then give me a share, right? So basically it's like a referral program, and you can make a partnership with any of your in any of the company that is relevant to your business. So that is also one part of digital marketing. Organic content marketing, it is like apart from paid promotions, you just put like normal organic post to engage the customers or people who like your Facebook page or Twitter page or whatever it is, right? So you just start posting on the feed, which is organic marketing. Display banner ads, this is the kind of banner ads you see on the website, like everywhere, on the side, on the top, on the bottom. So let's say you visit Amazon, right? On Amazon you visit a product, and even after exiting Amazon, you keep seeing the product everywhere, right? On the banners and stuff. So that is display banner ads. Trade publications, e-newsletters. Trade publications is like, I'm not sure if you guys heard trade publications. So it's like for every organization, they have a e-publication or anything in terms of physical publication, for the people who subscribe to that organization. To give an example, every physicians will have in US, every physicians have I think physician practice, or like some kind of organization. So that is a trade publication. So they actually cover the industry topics and industry news, and so all the digital marketing companies who want to get more leads, they actually start advertising in that kind of publications and e-newsletters. These are the main pillars when you talk about digital marketing, right? And I have a basic KPIs here mentioned for digital marketing: impressions, clicks, landing page, cost per click, cost per million. I don't want to explain this everything like in depth because it is very basic mathematics. To give an example, impression means number of times someone sees the ad, and clicks, number of times someone clicks the ad, right? Very basic, self-explanatory. Click-through rate, clicks divided by impressions, 0.5%. That's all. So when you have to evaluate your marketing using these metrics, let's say you put like a couple ads, you want to see which ad has more click-through rate, right? So based on that, you can optimize your marketing campaigns or strategy. So these are the, I think when sharing the slides, you can take a look at the KPIs here. It's very very self-explanatory. I'm happy to answer these questions even after the webinar. Um, Tools needed for digital marketing, right? So for understanding the structure in digital medium, you have to understand what's going on in the world. What is the exact trend? For example, you want to you're selling a phone, for the same example, right? So I want to search. I want to actually know what is the potential for a keyword by Samsung phone, right? So there are tools like Google Trends, Google Search Planner, SEM Rush, Uber Suggest. These are like tools I like and I follow a lot. So you can Google and see. So basically, if you put a keyword, it will show what is the cost of bidding on that keyword, and what is the search volume available for by geography. I want to know how many people search for this particular keyword in a month, an estimate in Chennai, or like you can know from these tools. And maybe like in India, you can get everything there. And what does the competition look like? What are the people who are bidding mostly on this keyword? Everything can be achieved from these tools: Google Trends, Google Search Planner, SEM Rush, Uber Suggest. So for basic market research, I suggest looking into these tools. Web analytics. Web analytics is like basic things in digital marketing, right? Like because digital is like digital assets. On digital asset, you need to know how many people visit the website and what are the actions they take on the website. And let's say you have like 5 menus, which menu gets more visits and where people spend more time, right? Basic all kinds of web activity should be monitored. So those kind of things give you insight in like where you should place a product, so you get more leads or more views or more eyeballs on it, right? So that web analytics can be achieved through Google Analytics, which is a free tool, Adobe Analytics, Kissmetrics, Crazy Egg. Those are all like other two things, but mostly Google Analytics is widely used across the industry. So I would suggest looking into those tools for web analytics. Advertising platforms, there are so many advertising platforms at this point, but mainly used so far till now is like Google Ads, which I showed in the search engine marketing. When you search for some keywords, then you show up on the first top four results, which are ads, Google Ads, and YouTube ads, and Facebook ads, Twitter ads, and LinkedIn ads. All four are like major platforms, right? And data analysis and visualization tools, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, or Python is like very sophisticated when you want to know, when you want to crunch data and find out, what kind of people I need to target, maybe like historical data and seeing like, which kind of people are like very profitable, or segment those people actually. Okay, there are like 1,000 people, but you can't show same message to 1,000 people because I might like different thing and Shanta ma'am can like different thing, right? So you have to understand which segment likes what and create your message based on that. For such data crunching and stuff, it's called performance marketing to be precise, which I am currently working on. So I crunch a lot of data and find out opportunities and come up with a creative way to market and get more leads to the company. So R and Python would be a good place to start. And I would actually add a SQL to it. That is a basic thing because that's where all the data, SQL or any database, all the data lies. So if you want to start your basic skills, I wouldn't actually start with SQL database or Python. I would actually start with market research and web analytics, right? These are the basic things. And then I actually put it in the same order. So start with market research and try to understand web analytics and try to understand advertising platforms, and then go into Excel, Tableau, Power BI, or anything sophisticated to crunch the data and find out. Because whatever insights you find here, you have to advertise here, right? So this comes last, and basic things should be covered first. This is related to, and I have like few resources here where you can, Google has an amazing resource to learn everything. They put out like all the things in detailed way across. It's free actually. You can do the certifications for free. And I have given a link here: Google Ads, Google Marketing Platform, Analytics Academy, and Ad Manager, Ad Mob is like same advertising things on mobile apps. So I suggest looking at this link and just to start, read about like what they offer. And most probably I suggest like start with Analytics Academy and get the certification of Google Analytics, so you understand the web analytics first, and then go into Google Ads and Google Ads Manager, so on, right? And for Facebook, it's the same thing. I have given a resource here. So it's it every platform has a different structure or campaign structure, right? So the concept will be the same. In Google Ads you have campaign, and within that you have ad group, and within that you have ad. In Facebook you have campaign, within that you have ad set, and you have within ad set you have ads. It's essentially going to be the same structure, but the nomenclature will be totally different for different platforms. For Facebook, I suggest looking at this link and see what kind of campaign structure they have. And important, right? Digital is evolving day to day. I'll come to a point on like what is the current state of digital marketing, but you have to have a regular follow of news and get upgraded every day about what's happening around the world. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. So these are the 5 things I closely follow. So I get updated on the things that are getting released today, or like technologies that are releasing today. Google releases a new algorithm that is going to affect digital marketing a lot. So that comes as an article in Search Engine Journal, Search Engine Land. Neil Patel is one of the famous marketers across the world. He has a blog. HubSpot and Ad Espresso is a good tool for all this tutorial. So I have given a hyperlink here for everything. So feel free to take a look at this resources and start reading about what's happening around the world, right? So I have a this is my end, but I do have a technical slides that somebody asked, right? Facebook targeting and LinkedIn targeting, right? So basically, I think if you understand Facebook targeting, you can go into LinkedIn. So Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, everything is same now, right? So they don't have any other data apart from the data we feed in. So when you create a Facebook profile, right, you give all your information about yourself. What college did you study, right? And what kind of city you're coming from, and what field you're studying. And you keep posting all your posts on Facebook and sharing the things, right? What kind of post you're spending more time on, what kind of friends you have, and what kind of friends network they like what kind of people you follow. All those data are like fields for them, right? They have this huge source of data, and in the platform they condense in a way that can be understandable by marketers. For example, you guys don't, as a user, you guys don't see anything, but as a marketer, I can actually see, okay, I want to target by Facebook interest, I want to target by Facebook job title, I want to target by Facebook demographics. So let's say, within Facebook interest, they have a list of things like, okay, this person is interested in fancy cars, this person is interested in IT. You, I mean, this category is interested in maybe sports car, right? So they have like so many different categories within the Facebook interest. So all those things are categorized by the data we give to Facebook, or we post or we share, and what about based on our engagement and how much time or how much interest we show on certain things. Those gets like different score, and you automatically fall into that category what Facebook is deciding, which advertisers can use and market and show the message. Let's say I gave my job title as digital marketing manager on Facebook. So if I'm a digital marketer and I want to sell a digital marketing course to all the managers, then I go and search for, I want to market this product to all the digital marketing manager. Then you can go to job title and find out and filter only those people, you know, and demographics. So I want to target only people with 20 to 25 age. You can do that with this, or maybe like only people in Chennai. You can do that. Customer match. So I don't have anything about you, right? So I don't want to go with Facebook detailed targeting, but I have a list of emails and names that I can target. For example, let's take this webinar as an example, right? If Cgena decides to target all the people who attended webinar in historical, like last 2 3 years, they can actually do with just data they have. So they have all the email addresses about yourself, right? And they have your names. You upload those things to platform, and platform can match you based on the information they have, right? Okay, let's say if Shanta ma'am upload like 10,000 records, she might end up getting like 4,000, 5,000 records. That's okay, as long as we reach many people, right? So you can upload the data to the platforms and match those people and show the ads to them. And as those 4,000 people engage, like and share or whatever it is, it reaches the relevant people and you can keep marketing, right? So that is also another way of targeting on Facebook. So what I'm trying to say is, right, all the targeting available on Facebook comes only from what we feed in and what we do on Facebook, on Instagram or WhatsApp. um, is that clear? Awesome. And retargeting, right? So I have this as a separate topic because there's something called cookie. When you go to a website, I don't know if you can see my, uh, can you see my browser here? Let me share it again, like I can share. Okay. Can you see my browser here? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when you go to, let me take my company browser itself. Okay. Toptal, right? So let me go to my company browser, and all you can see is the website, right? But what is happening is you can see the Facebook pixel here. So I have this plugin that shows, okay, Facebook pixel is loaded. It means that someone is actually some basically Facebook created a pixel. So you tell Facebook that I want to cookie all the people who visit my website so I can find these people and show them another message, right? So let's say I'm the marketer for this whole website in real, and I want to actually target the people. So let's say 10,000 people visit this website, right? And only 50 end up clicking this hire top talent and go on hire, but rest of the 9,000, 500 and like 50, whatever it is, right? So all those people are just left off without doing any action. But can you just leave just like that? That defeats the purpose, right? You have to go after the 9,500 people because they already visited your website, right? So you want to go after them. So that is what is called a handle by pixel. You put in Facebook pixel on this page, and Facebook actually gathers all the data about your visits. And what you can do here is like, in here, you can actually build an audience on Facebook advertising platforms about all the people who visited Toptal but never converted, right? That is called retargeting. So that is why you keep seeing the ads even after you left off the website. Okay, and dynamic retargeting. This is very popular method in e-commerce. So let's say they have 1,000 products in a website in Amazon, right? But when you click on, but only few products keep following you even after you left Amazon. Why does it so? So Amazon knows that even though you saw like 10 products, only on one product you keep visiting again and again. Maybe you spent more time, maybe you researched more, you saw reviews, maybe you tried to add to the cart but never checked out. All those data points can be crunched and created an audience. And in a technical way, Amazon also lets Facebook know that, create a rule saying that this person takes so many actions on my website. I want to follow this person and create an audience on the platform. So you can actually do that and specifically feed those products and show only the product you visited a lot or like maybe like showed more interest in. That is, it's quite advanced in terms of retargeting, but it is possible. Uh, that's called dynamic retargeting, right? And there are a few ad types in Facebook, which is reach, video reach, and lead gen. Reach means you don't care about how many leads you're going to get, or you don't want people to take any action, right? Again, going back to this page, awareness page, you want to reach as many people as possible, and they have to see the ad. That's it, right? So you can actually go ahead and create a reach campaign. So this is very this is very economical way to reach many people, but you won't get any results in terms of clicks or anything as such, because algorithm is designed in a way it just reaches as many people as possible and makes it, make them see the ad. That's it. It doesn't pursue you to click the ad or anything as such, right? And video reach is the same thing with video asset. Lead gen, this works in a completely different way. When you're creating a campaign with an objective of generating more leads out of it, algorithm works in a different way, because algorithm is going to have, based on your previous web behavior and everything you've given or you've done on Facebook or Instagram, algorithm is very smart enough to see out of 1,000 people who are on the website or Facebook today, these 50 people are going to take much action because they are highly engaged and they're highly engaged with this product. So they have the data about you. So when you click lead gen as an objective, this algorithm keeps sending you, the frequency of the ads gets higher. So in reach campaign, you might see the ad like one time in a day or like in a week. In lead gen campaign, you will actually see like the same ad for like 5 times in a day. So they basically make you to go through this awareness phase and create interest and create intent and purchase as quickly as possible. So you go from this awareness page to purchase page very, very fast. So all the different campaign types, algorithm works in a different way based on the objective, right? But those are the main or maybe like basic things that are covered in Facebook targeting. Okay, can the same, Srinidhi asked, can the same strategy can be used to promote a blog or UT page? Can you say what this UT means, Srinidhi?
What's UT? Srinidhi?
YouTube, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. So you can actually promote a blog. So basically what you have to do is you should create a reach campaign. and just promote your blog, and which is again another tactic, right? So let me tell you something. In Facebook, you can actually create a video and reach as many people as possible and create an audience out of whoever watched the video more than 50% of the video. Let's say the video is for like 2 minutes, right? You can actually create an audience uh, for who visited, who watched the video more than 50%, more than 1 minute. So you can do any wonders on Facebook. Yes, it is possible. So use the same strategy, promote the blog, and just get more reach. And use the web analytics platform like Google Analytics to see how many people visited the blog and how much time they spent. And if you have like so many different items on your blog, then you can track every item and see which item are being clicked more times or something like that. Um, I think we had
Any other question? We have
She
4 minutes left. So
Srinidhi asked LinkedIn for digital marketing, right? It is a very good question, Srinidhi. So there is something called B2B and B2C. B2B means business to business. B2C means business to consumer. Let's say I'm a phone company, right? I want to reach the consumer who, my audience is like consumer who directly buys the phone. So I belong to B2C. But let's say I am I'm an agency, digital marketing agency. I want to sell my service, right? So I have to find the businesses who need my service, which is B2B. LinkedIn can be used for B2C, but majorly used for B2B marketing because it is a professional network, right? Everyone talks like in a professional way and like technical things and like maybe related to your career, right? So all the businesses spend more time to find the relevant talent or like maybe connect the right person in the same industry so they can develop their professional network. So everything is related to their business or job. So B2B companies benefit a lot when they start promoting on LinkedIn. And same like Facebook, Srinidhi, like LinkedIn targeting is also decided by the data we give to LinkedIn. When you create a LinkedIn profile, you gave your job, you gave the company you work in, and you have your education and you have your experience and everything, right? So even on like LinkedIn advertising platform, you can see I can actually target by people who have 8+ year experience or people who have digital marketing who are currently working as a digital marketing manager or people who are currently in e-commerce industry, anything like they have like so many layers of targeting based on the data we feed in, right? And when you open a company page on LinkedIn, they actually ask like how many employees are there or how recent the company is and website and everything, right? So using that also you can target, right? Basically I want to target only companies with like 100 employees or 100 to 200 employees. You have an option on LinkedIn. So it's the same thing, but based on the data we feed, professional feeds we feed to LinkedIn. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Sure.
I had a question.
Yep.
So it seems to me that different platforms would be more helpful to push clients through like different parts of the marketing funnel. Like for example, if I'm going online and searching for a phone, it would seem like I would be more likely to go and actually purchase the product. So I would see search as being people coming in through like, Google search would be more likely to buy the product. Is there a way that like, or is it possible to categorize like the different platforms that we saw today into like where they would fall in the marketing funnel?
Yes, glad you asked. I have a slide for that too. Cool. Um, so basically, in Google, as you mentioned, right? It's high intent. Intent is what like make Google very successful because in Google searches, prospects reach advertisers, right? That's the big difference. You yourself voluntarily searching for things you like, which means you're already considering or like you have an interest or you have an intent, which means awareness stage is not I mean that is a big stage to cross, right? So high intent. So the cost per click is really expensive in LinkedIn because it is high in they're leveraging the value they're giving, right? Because they're already showing the ads for people who show a lot of intent, and it is going to be expensive compared to other platforms. And customized ads based on the search query. If you search for black mobile, you can actually customize the ad saying that buy best black mobiles, right? So why does the customization matters? Because you have to make more people click the ad, more relevant people click the ad, so you get more leads. So there's a good option in customizing the ads using Google search and higher conversion, which means higher clicks to lead conversion. So if 1,000 people click, maybe like 100 people get converted. I'm just saying for an example, which is like 10% conversion rate, which is huge for digital marketing. Whereas in Facebook, right, like in other platforms, we reach the prospects. Facebook is not meant for buying things. Facebook is not meant for, you know, you know, getting to know about products or like marketing, right? It's a personal platforms. So they came to Facebook or LinkedIn for different purposes. So advertisers reach prospects invading their personal space and showing their ads. So the intent might not be as high as Google. So they use, I mean, most of the digital marketing company use Facebook for creating that awareness, interest, and consideration stage. So they reach as many people as possible, showing that we are here, and if you want anything, like we just say hi, something like that. And when you search, you're already showing an interest, and you're going to get more high intent audience. So that's why Google is expensive, and all the social media platforms I would categorize here as a cheaper cost, very, very cheap cost. Let's say the cost per click is around, like, let's say I'm talking in dollars here. Cost per click might be like $3, $2 in Google. And here it would be like 20 cents, 30 cents, that cheap, because you're reaching at scale, right? So that's the big difference.
That makes sense. Thank you for answering that.
We are at the end of our meeting time. So Arjun, thank you so much for doing this webinar. For those who are interested in making the switch from engineering to marketing, I think this has been a wonderful, wonderful information providing session, but also your passion for marketing really came through when you talked about your story of how you moved from engineering to marketing. So thank you so much for doing this. And
My
thank
pleasure.
the audience. Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you for joining, guys. And feel free to just connect me on LinkedIn or ask any questions. I'd be happy to answer. Maybe like if you need like further sessions, I'd be happy to connect on technical things. Thank you for the opportunity.
So we will make the recording available to everybody. And thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I want to thank you also, Arjun. This is Karthik. And thank
Thanks,
you.
Karthik.
This was a wonderful, wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arjun. Thank you. Bye, all.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. I'm going to end the meeting.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.